You know what I hate? When I'm doing hard work for the betterment of myself, that creeping feeling of burnout. But it's not a real feeling of burnout. It's not being worked so hard that you can't work anymore. It's the fear of stopping work because you're not sure if you'll continue it when you have to start again. Welcome back to the channel. Tune in or ghost out. How many things that you said you were going to do are still undone right now? I could probably name off a small list of things I need to get done, but one of the most pressing things for me lately is to get to this waterfall. The waterfall in question is known as Tallulah Gorge. I've been there before, I love that place, but a lot has been on my plate, and I've been busier than usual, and that eerie feeling of burnout is well upon me. The reason I've been trying to find my way to this waterfall, other than it being beautiful, is when my head gets like this, I think it's good to step out and breathe. There's just something indescribable about roaring water in your ear that helps you think clearer than you ever could. But as I've come to realize, I don't have as much time as I once did. Even with my life being relatively frictionless, I still find myself running out of minutes. And it's not unknowingly. When I was way younger, I could go through an entire day and not really think about what I was doing. I was just living. But now I become conscious in the middle of my task and I think to myself, damn, I could be at that waterfall right now. And while we all have that thought of vacation and where we could be instead of where we are, it makes the effort of continuing to do what you're doing that much harder. And that's really when the feeling of burnout sets in for me. When I start lingering in thoughts of where I could be or what I could be doing, the thing that I'm actually doing becomes the worst task in the world. How can I explain it? Do you remember Halloween as a kid? You would have to go to school knowing that at the end of the day, you were going to get so much candy. And that made the entire day 10 times longer. I remember back when I was with my cousins, they would make me read books before trick-or-treating, and these weren't some crazy books. It wasn't like a Harry Potter sized book, and I just struggled to get past like 4 pages. I just could not focus because all I could see in my head was us trick-or-treating, you know, getting the king-size candy bars and stuff. And as I've grown up, that feeling has really never left. And it sucks so much because if I tell myself if I do 30 minutes of work or studying, then I'll get X reward, my brain will just focus on the reward. And it's like, I promise that to myself. I don't know, saying it out loud, I feel like I sound like a dumbass. But man, that feeling of burnout starts out so slow. Even with things that you're passionate about, you start off on such a high when you first begin, and as the weeks go by, as the routine gets put in place, you either become a victim of physical burnout or creative burnout. The idea of staying on the road becomes so hard. People say the more you do something, the easier it gets, and that's kind of true. I can say for YouTube, it's definitely gotten easier to record myself. In the first couple of my videos, I was actually terrified on the mic, but the more I do this, the easier that gets. But what I'm noticing with YouTube is the creative burnout. You're required to have a new idea and express it very well each time you post something. And while I do this because I personally enjoy it, I want to say my ideas in the best way to connect to you guys. This whole channel, Ghostthread, is based on the idea that it's about the people who feel unheard. This is a chain of ideas that don't get to be explored as often. So when we do talk about them, I want to give them my all. While I think this has made the conversations more engaging, and all the comments I get, I thank you guys for. But as a person who's picked up and dropped more hobbies than I like to admit, I do get scared of burnout. I know that we're all going to fall off the wagon, but my fear has always been about getting back on the wagon. I've committed to diets that ended in a weekend. I've spent weeks editing something to just never open up that project again. I don't know if it's just me, but my brain has this thing of not wanting to start things after I take a pause. Or if I do return back to it, I take an irrational step that causes me to drown even more. A good example of that is when I try to fix my sleep schedule. I don't know why I think it's a bright idea, but anytime I'm sleeping at really late hours, instead of fixing it the right way by taking multiple nights of sleeping earlier and earlier until I get the time that I want to be at, the big brain idea that pops into my head is to just stay up 24 hours and fix it that way. This method used to work when I was younger, but now it's just bad for my health and ruins my sleep schedule that much more, leading me into a cycle of not sleeping enough and just forcing myself to wake up via the alarm, putting me in a worse position than I was at sleeping late. This is the part of the video where I teach you how to fix it or something. And well, if I had to give you any piece of advice, I'd say go to that waterfall. The thing with burnout is there's not many ways you could fix it, depending on how your life is. It would be easy and even snobbyish of me to tell you to drop what you're doing to just relax. Being able to relax, like a lot of other things in today's world, has become a luxury. You can physically relax. You can go at home and sit, but truly relaxing, letting stress out, being able to breathe a deep breath, and not damn near panicking like we all are all the time is easier said than achieved. But I know for me, when my heart starts beating fast, when my mind gets clouded and my body's fatigued, sitting at the couch watching Netflix won't solve my problems. It'll drown them out, it'll dull me for a second, but it won't solve anything. But when I sit in front of that waterfall and I hear the roaring water, I don't know about you, me personally though, I'm probably gonna spark a J. I can kind of think for a second and understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. I think it's easy for people in our generation to get into this nihilistic thought or think that we've been outcasted by society. When I'm present in that moment, looking at the water, seeing the birds, kind of becomes okay that it doesn't have much meaning. Like, yeah, the world is controlled by people I wouldn't shake hands with, but on the upside, Earth gave us everything that we need. I guess we went and complicated it, but it also helps me realize that I know why I'm doing this. I'm striving for something larger than me. They see it as me chasing green dollar bills, but in reality, I'm rejecting a world that's trying to beat me down every day. I remember watching a video on YouTube not too long ago where they called the male loneliness epidemic, survival of the fittest, like the cream of the crop will rise to the top. And right under that, I saw an article about how women are turning to AI boyfriends. This world contradicts itself endlessly. You can try to find truth in a system that doesn't make any sense, or you can rebel. People who are passionate about their jobs have burnout. People who are chasing their dreams have burnout. Finding passion or understanding what your dreams are, don't stop that. That's a deeper understanding of yourself and the wants that you have. But showing up for yourself, even through the burnout, is how you rebel. I'm not saying you can't watch Netflix or you can't take a break. Please do, or you're gonna be in real trouble. Like, take a break. But don't get lost in that break. Know that it's temporary. Have a commitment to get back to what you were doing. Because being sat on the couch watching programming is what they want. The more docile you are, the less you achieve, the more it props up a system that makes no sense. You can't cure burnout, you can only balance it. As tough as that may seem, it's achievable. For me, it's that waterfall, or the drive home when I'm done with the day. There's nothing like music and traffic, but I implore you to find what it is for you. Some people have unlimited stamina and can deal with anything life throws at them. But if you're not one of those people, you need to balance yourself. Find your escape. Burnout is going to show up at every part of your life. If you don't know how to manage it, it's going to be tough. If you've been dealing with burnout, let me know down below in the comments. This year has flown by and a lot of things have happened. If you enjoyed anything you saw here today, please go ahead and drop a like on the video. And a subscription does more for me than you could ever know. With that being said, thank you for tuning in. Until next time.
Transmission complete. Signal terminating. This is Ghostthread, signing off.